Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with My Hero Academia. Last time on My Hero Academia, we had Fight On, Iida. So, we continued on through round 2, and actually continued through round 3 as well. Let's see. Iida beat Shiozaki. Tokoyami beat Ashido. Bakugo beat Kirishima. And then Todoroki beat Iida. And Bakugo beat Tokoyami. So we are leading up to the finals, which will be Todoroki versus Bakugo. Yeah. We also had we had a bit with Midoriya. Forgot the name for a sec. We had a bit with Midoriya after he had to have surgery by a recovery girl before he could actually be healed. And he now has a crooked right hand because of his overuse of his quirk. And recovery girl is like, look, I'm not going to encourage you to, keep doing this sort of stuff to your body. So I'm done. You need to find some other way to, use your quirk. A way that's not so destructive. So they're going to have to work on that. Meanwhile, we cut to Tenya's brother, the hero Ingenium, as he discovered Hero Killer Stain, who lived up to his name by promptly killing Ingenium. Or at least, we assume killed. Technically, I suppose we don't fully know if he died. I'm just going to take a wild guess that the Hero Killer killed the hero. And then we got our first look at Hero Killer Stain as he was recruited by Kurogiri. So, yeah, that was pretty much that. It was a crazy episode, but now we are moving on into the final match of the sports festival, Todoroki versus Bakugo. So, who is going to win this? I'm going to put my money on Todoroki. I think the biggest question is, will Todoroki be pushed to use his fire side? I think he will. I think Bakugo can push him that far. But yeah, I think Todoroki's going to win this. Now, I don't know. Because, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right for Bakugo to win. So, yeah, I would kind of put it on Todoroki. We'll see. We'll see. I know before we started the sports festival, there were some people that were like, oh, maybe you should make some brackets. And I didn't do that, obviously. Kind of wish I did now. But yeah, it's like, so we can go ahead and make a single bracket now. Let's do one last second bracket. So who will win if I put something up on the screen? I hope I did. I'm kind of lazy, though. Let's start the episode. You know how to get to the reaction. It's in the description. Let's get started. Okay, so not the ending I thought we would get to the sports festival, but an interesting one, definitely. I did really like that, actually. It makes sense that, we haven't fully resolved Todoroki's problems, which makes sense. We've only given him his origin. Now he needs to go on his journey. So that makes a lot of sense, actually. And so he's got some soul searching to do. I kind of like the line where he's like, Midoriya opened my eyes. And it's like, yeah, Midoriya opened his eyes, but he's not sure what he can see yet. So I did like that. And yeah, just the fact that Bakugo won, but Todoroki wasn't using his full power. So it wasn't the satisfying victory that he hoped for. Which is interesting. That kind of knocks him down a few pegs, It's like he won, but it's not the victory he wanted. I actually like that. It's better than if he just lost or if he just straight up won, So yeah, that is definitely interesting. I do like that. So, let's go ahead and get into the notes. The first thing I wrote down was the pre-fight. So the two of them having a chat in the waiting room. That was interesting. With uh, with Bakugo. First off, Bakugo just bursting in there and being like, "Wait, what are you doing in here?" It's like, "Oh, this is waiting room 2. Oh, okay, so I may have gone into the wrong waiting room." So I like that he kind of admits, like, okay, yeah, that's my fault, I guess. So that was funny. And it's also interesting that that's just how he enters a room. He just kicks the door in, because of course he does. I did like that. And of course, it pissed him off, with Todoroki talking about Deku. But yeah, that was interesting. It was also interesting, when Todoroki was like, you two were childhood friends. Was he always this, helpful? Was he always trying to help people like this, And like what exactly? I'm gonna have to go back for a couple times during this, actually. So let me get this opening part here with when he was talking about.
Midoriya, huh? He said the same thing.
Yeah.
That fool. Instead of trying to win the match himself, he focused on breaking my walls. You guys were childhood friends, right? Was he like that when you were kids? So helpful.
So helpful. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Was he so helpful when you were kids? Yes, he was. But Bakugo took that as, oh, Midoriya, Deku, he thinks I'm weak, Like, he resented how helpful he was. Excuse me. He resented how helpful Midoriya was, whereas Todoroki is taking it a bit better. Granted, well, okay, Todoroki is not resentful about how helpful Midoriya is, but he is, saying it's like, oh, what an idiot to actually push me that far, So that was interesting. I did like that. And then I wrote down the pep talk in the middle of the fight. The pep talk in the middle of the fight, because Todoroki, he wasn't bringing it. He wasn't using his fire, And it's like, okay, well, we thought, it's like, okay, well, he's good now. Everything's solved. It's his own quirk and stuff. I like that this is an ongoing thing. This isn't something we can just resolve in the span of one fight. He now has to take a journey, We had his origin, and now this is his story. So I do like that. I do like that, it wasn't all wrapped up, even though I was fine with it being all wrapped up in their fight. So I'm glad that this keeps going. Basically, we're going to get more of Todoroki and his struggles. So I did like that. And then, the pep talk where Midoriya tried. He tried to help him, He tried to give him that pep talk. He tried to give him that pep talk, but he just was not taking it.
The aptitude for this becomes more apparent with every fight. Interesting. Todoroki's doing well so far, but his attacks are too simple. It almost seems like he lost his spark after the match with Midoriya.
Yeah.
You bastard! I'll tell you what'll happen if you make a fool out of me! I'll kill you!
Yeah, so he basically lost his spark.
That's only possible if you come at me as hard as you can. There's no point if you don't fight me with the same power you used against Deku.
Huh.
If you don't want to win,
And that's another thing. That's another thing, is that Bakugo is kind of insulted that Todoroki won't use his full power. It's not just that, he wants him to use it so he can beat it, but he wants to know that, this is the most powerful student in the class. And yes, if I can beat him, that makes me more powerful. But if he uses his full power on me, that means I'm that powerful in order to push him, Whereas, Midoriya was that powerful. He was that powerful. So this is almost like, it's almost like, it is a test of being worthy, this will just piss Bakugo off even more. The fact that Midoriya was worthy enough to be to take on Todoroki at his full power, whereas Bakugo wasn't, even though Bakugo still won. So that would kill him if Midoriya got something, kind of got got ahead on something. So
everyone, you're trying to destroy me! I wanted to. I'll be a hero. I'm sorry, Bakugo.
yeah.
Fought Midoriya, I'm unsure of so much. Whether or not I did the right thing.
Yeah.
What my left side means to me.
He now he's conflicted. He's thinking of it.
Don't give up! Do your best!
Yeah.
Midoriya. That stupid nerd.
So he is he's kind of inspired. He's inspired enough. He tries to remember Midoriya's words, and that's what ignites him. But even then, he doubts himself. He falls back, and that's what ultimately causes him to lose. So it's like he has a journey to go on. He has a journey that he needs to go on in order to, kind of like he said, settle the score, basically, between him and Endeavor. So, oh boy, it's all tricky. The next thing I wrote down was the missile. Bakugo's new secret technique he did, where he basically turned himself into a tornado by spinning around and then hitting at his full force. That was crazy. I do like all the techniques, because that's the thing is that, with Todoroki, it's like, okay, well, what's his full power? His full power is just when he uses both halves of his quirk, He uses his fire and his ice in combination. Whereas everyone else, they have to have specific moves with their powers, For Uraraka, it has to be, the hellstorm of meteors she, unleashes. Or for Midoriya, I suppose technically his most powerful attack would be a Detroit Smash, because that's All Might's greatest attack, really. I'm pretty sure, I think that's the one that's been the most powerful so far. So his would be the Detroit Smash. And, everyone has their own thing. Like, even Iida, has his turbo engines. So I do like, that everyone has to develop their own techniques. Even though, Midoriya just has to use the Detroit Smash. But he'll figure something out now. He has to figure out his own thing now. Anyway, so I do like that Bakugo is coming up with these new techniques. Like when he destroyed Uraraka's Hellstorm, which that's what it needs to be called now, Uraraka's Hellstorm. When he unleashed and destroyed that, or his sort of final flash that he did against Tokoyami. He has to develop all these skills, basically. So I like that. And I like the missile, just going in with this super crazy attack, which, can knock out Todoroki. But only if Todoroki is, not. It only works if Todoroki is not using his full power, as we discovered. So Bakugo won. Bakugo won, but at what cost? His pride, basically. At the cost of his own pride, basically. So he won, but it was a false win to him, because he didn't. Even though everyone hails him now as the champion, he knows that he didn't beat Todoroki at Todoroki's best, which was the whole point, That's like if you beat All Might, but All Might wasn't trying, So that's the thing. It is a false win for him, and it's ripping him apart. Which, good, that can lead to his own character development. We'll have to see how that affects him. But, that is crazy. Sorry, I got something stuck in my teeth. I just ate lunch before this episode. So, okay, so the next thing... Oh, we did get Midnight's powers. So we saw in Midoriya versus Todoroki, she ripped off some of her clothes, and like this gas came out, and it seemed like we didn't know what it did, and now we know that she just has some sort of pheromone, I guess, that will knock you out, or at least this time it knocked him out. So that's cool. We finally get to actually see Midnight's quirk in action, and then it made sense for All Might to give the trophies. Now I want to hear like what they were saying, because like she apparently screwed up his intro.
Now let's break out the hardware. Of course, there's only one person worthy of distributing the award.
I love his laugh. Oh. Yeah, she kind of overlapped with him. Oh, she's so cute. She's so cute. I love Midnight. So yeah, I also love that, it's like, oh, here are our top 3. And it's like, there's Tokoyami, and it's like, oh, well, shouldn't Tenya be up there? Shouldn't Iida be up there? And it's like, oh, well, he had to jet. He would be up there, but he had to jet. Although you would think that, I don't know. Well, no, that didn't make sense. So yeah, he had to jet, so he couldn't, he couldn't stick around, but he would have taken 3rd place. And then Todoroki takes 2nd place, and then Bakugo takes 1st place. I love that they Hannibal Lectered him up there because he's going nuts,
So now that you're here, All Might, why don't you start the presentation?
Young Tokoyami, congratulations. You showed great strength out there.
And I like that with each one of them, he is teaching them in there. Like, you need to, for Tokoyami, it's like you need to figure out how to defeat, more types of enemies. You need to basically figure out more about your quirk. Of course, that's what UA is for. We're here to train you. So, I like that. I did like that All Might hugged them, which is interesting. It's like, which I've said before, it's like, oh, why don't they hug, Like after, I think it was after Uraraka lost to Bakugo, and it's like, oh my gosh, I kept saying, it's like, oh my gosh, someone give this girl a hug. Someone actually said in the comments that hugs are not a big thing in Japan, which, that sucks. But it's like, oh man, they should hug or something. It's like, it's so funny that All Might is the one that's hugging them, hugging the winners. So.
Young Todoroki, congratulations. I'm assuming.
Oh, I think I missed the part with Iida. Yeah. So yeah, I just loved all the hugs there. Now there was something. Yeah, it was with Iida. I need to go back a bit. When they were explaining why Iida wasn't there. That's so crazy how they Hannibal Lectered him.
Iida actually shares the 3rd place award with Tokoyami, but unfortunately he had to leave for family reasons. Gotta love those familial bonds.
Must you really?
Gotta love those familial bonds. Must you really? I love his voice. It's like, I love that they're all just like, Midnight, come on, I just love that because she's so horny. I love Midnight. She is amazing. So yeah, I didn't catch that the first time, so I'm glad I went back for that. Okay, so Tenya, he had to jet because of Tensei. So Tensei did not die. They got lucky enough that they caught it before he could die, and they got him the surgery. But he might be screwed up for a while. I don't know how long it's going to be until Ingenium gets back out there, but it's pretty bad. And that was an emotional scene where he's like, "I'm sorry, I failed you," and Tenya is crying. It's like, oh my gosh, come on. I'm glad he's not dead. At least I'm glad he's not dead, especially going against the hero killer. But that could have been a lot worse. So, Then Todoroki, we talked about, Todoroki, how he now needs to go on his journey in order to figure things out, basically. He needs to figure things out for himself, which I like. And the first step is to see his mother, which was another, like, intense scene, and it's like, oh, I want to stay there, though. So that was crazy. Which I have to say, it's like, now that the sports festival is done, it is actually kind of weird seeing them, like, just, like, in their normal clothes and just going about, their daily life. It's like, that was kind of weird, actually. I'm not used to that anymore, I'm used to them in their UA jackets, but we've been, this is episode 12. We have been at this sports festival for such a long time, So it'll be interesting, actually, to get a new story arc. I guess, going back to class, although they get 2 days off, but going back to class, something, I guess, with Hero Killer Stain, and then, I don't know, but it was kind of interesting just seeing them just in their normal civilian clothes, actually. It's like, oh, right, civilian clothes, that happens. It's like, I kind of want more, like, just them in everyday life. I want to see that, I want to see friggin' Midoriya and Uraraka hanging out. I was going to also include Iida there, but Iida's got some shit he needs to work through. Todoroki does too. I think invite Sue. Yeah. Invite Sue, I guess you could invite Mineta. Well, just, I kind of want, I do kind of want them to hang out, just have a nice time. It'll be interesting. We haven't had episodes like that, really. So, of course, we never really settled into a school arc, Like, we had some episodes, especially, like, with the first day with the physical exams by Aizawa, and then the combat training with All Might, and then we immediately went into the USJ, and then we immediately went into the sports festival. It's like, I kind of want to just see everyday life with them. So, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, the mother. So he went to go see his mother, which we did get a look at one of his older sisters, which you guys actually said that the reason that Todoroki does have so many siblings is actually because, if you look at their hair, which I did notice this, if you look at their hair, only Todoroki seems to have, like, the split, red and white, whereas everyone else, when we saw, like, his siblings when they were children, it seemed like they mostly had white hair. They didn't really have that, and they didn't have the split like he does. And I think someone said that that's actually because Endeavor kept having kids until he got the combo you needed. The perfect 50-50 combo of the two powers, which is interesting. So, yeah, which you even see with Todoroki's sister. Hold up.
Where are you going?
The hospital.
What?
Yeah, with his older sister, who, with those glasses and the outfit she's wearing, it fooled me for a second. I was like, that can't be his mother. And it's like, oh, wait, no, look at the red in her hair. That's obviously one of his older sisters. It's like, kind of looks older than his mother, especially at the end there. But yeah, like, on here, she only has, like, some red streaks, but it's mostly white hair. So that's interesting that he has a split between the two powers, and that there even would be, a chance that it wouldn't be an even split. I thought that was interesting. And yeah, so Todoroki went off to see his mother in the hospital, and he's got some things to sort through. And it'll be really interesting to see this character arc progress for him. So, and it was also interesting. There was something his sister said.
Hold on, why? You can't just visit. Not without telling Dad, right?
Huh.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, she's basically saying, it's like, oh, you can't go without telling Dad. And it's like, girl, you don't know what he's been through. Like, honestly, that's the thing, is that, just kind of looking at her and, like, her outfit that she's wearing, it kind of looks, kind of professional. It's like, I wonder what she does, for a living. And it's like, I would bet you his siblings don't really know what Endeavor did to Shoto. It's like it's a little intense, and even with this last line of "but why go now?" It's like, were they not watching the sports festival? By the way, were they not watching Midoriya kicking the shit out of Todoroki and getting him to use his fire side? But then, even then, they might not even know that he had a problem using his fire side. And maybe they don't realize it because they don't really have much of a fire side. They're more ice than fire, whereas he's the perfect split. So that's interesting that, it's almost like his siblings are kind of kept in a bubble, which Endeavor even said in the flashback, it's like, I'm training you for a different world than they live in, So yeah, there is a bit of there's kind of a distance between Todoroki and his siblings, which it would be interesting to see more of that. And the last thing I wrote down was the aftermath. So, okay, so we had, let's get back here. So Uraraka went home. So Uraraka has an apartment by herself. This is something new I'm learning, apparently. It's like, because this is not the first anime where it's like, oh, this teenager has an apartment all to themselves, basically. I've seen that in another anime before, so it's like, apparently this is just a thing. It's like, man, I wish I could do that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I wish I could have done that as a teenager, but it's like, man, just a teenager that has their own apartment. It's like, maybe I'm crazy, and maybe you guys will be like, oh, what the hell are you talking about, man? This isn't uncommon in America, but maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I have no idea. I find that interesting that this is now another instance of like, oh, well, this teenage girl has her own apartment in Japan, So, I don't know. But that was interesting. And when she goes in, it's like, it's dark, and she's like, oh, that's weird. Why is it unlocked? And I was like, I was like, oh no. And then just her parents just come crawling out, terrifying, but it's just her parents, So that was funny. And yeah, so she said like, oh, did you take the bullet train to get here? So I like that. And it's also interesting. It's also interesting seeing her mother. It's like, that is clearly where she gets all her looks. Like, it's the exact same hair. She's got the pink spots on the cheeks. That's funny. So we got them. I like that. And okay, what the hell was happening? What the hell happened to her eye? Like, okay, they did the whole, the eye shootout. And it's like, oh, isn't that goofy, cartoon thing? But then it sticks to that, and it's like, wait a second. It's like, is that her mother's quirk? Like, how does that work? Because that's not her quirk. So it's like, what?
We came to throw you a party. We had to come after watching our make such an awesome effort on TV.
Wait, what? But what about work? Did you come on the bullet train? When? How?
Aww.
I can't believe you're here.
That's interesting. So she must not see her parents that often. That sucks, but aww. She's so cute. She's best girl. And I know I went off about Midnight, and then someone's like, oh, but Uraraka, best girl, she's so cute. I know, I do this in every show. I do. Okay, we can say Uraraka, best girl, Midnight, best woman. Because she is. Oy. We can make that distinction. Okay, and then we had... Oh yeah, Midoriya.
7? Isn't that crazy?
She passed out 7 times.
How many times I passed out after the cavalry battle? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay. I was like while I was watching, I was like, why is that glass moving? I was like, wait a second, that was her power. I just remembered. She said in the first episode, her power is she can, make objects get close to her. That's her quirk. I forgot that. That's a nice detail. Because I was like, why the hell is that glass moving?
I'm sure the last 2 were because of dehydration.
Man.
Like you are way more heroic than I was out there.
Don't mock your mother. Suddenly finding out you had a power like that? You guys have a quirk, but did it have to be so dangerous?
Yeah. I love... So... Okay, now they show a scene where Midoriya's like, oh, well, apparently I have a quirk. Oh, yeah, it's, the doctors say I guess, late bloomer, you know? Like, because he doesn't say anything about All Might or One for All, which, tell your mother. For God's sake, tell your mother. I think you can trust your mother with that information. But yeah, that was interesting. And I do like, you know, her being like, you know, it was great to find out you have a quirk, but good lord, it's dangerous. Like, yeah, we never cut back to her while he was breaking every bone and every fragment in his arms, you know? Like, he went nuts during that fight with Todoroki. So, yeah, it's like, no wonder. And she passed out 7 times in the cavalry battle. I'm surprised she's not dead, you know? So, that was funny.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Apparently it's not medically impossible or anything like that. I'm just a late bloomer, and anyway, now I have a quirk of my own, which is not
Yeah, that's interesting. And then, Bakugo. Bakugo's still angry. I love that. So, yeah. What an incredible episode and an end to the Sports Festival story arc. I'm very curious as to where we go next. Like, you know, we have Stain and we have Todoroki's emotional journey he needs to go on. Other than that, we don't have a whole lot of lead into the next one. But then again, we didn't have any lead into this story arc. Actually, we had no lead in because the lead in that was given to us at the end of season 1 was about Stain. And that didn't show up until last episode, and that's not even a part of this. Like, that just happened, basically. So, yeah. But, man, this episode, like, opens up, like, 8 new storylines that we're going to go on, and each one I am so excited, you know? And, you know what, I will say, I'm a little glad that we are done with the sports festival because, you know, we need to move on. It's like, I feel satisfied with this. Not that, you know, oh, I'm happy this is finally over, but it's like, yes, we can move on, you know? Basically, this was kind of on the verge of overstaying its welcome, basically. Like, this was just the right amount of episodes, and now, let's move on to something else. And I'm super excited to move on. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my My Hero Academia reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.